Hey guys, it's Cameron again, and I'm back to do the Bookalicious tag. I was tagged to do this video by Melissa over at the Metalhead Bookworm. If for some odd reason you do not know who she is, I will link her channel below, and you need to go check her out, because she is awesome. Anyway, Bookalicious tag, question 1. What percentage of books do you get from the library, and what percentage do you get elsewhere? 0% from the library, 100% everywhere else. I can't just check out a book from the library. For some reason, I feel like I have to own the book when I go to read it. The only time I go to the library is just to check out movies. Other than that, book and audiobooks. If I do get an audiobook, I will get it from the library instead of paying for it. But yeah, whenever I go to read a book, I feel like I have to own it. I don't know. Question 2. What character would you want to be and why? I'd want to be Harry Potter because, I mean, you know, you get to go to Hogwarts and you know, do Quidditch and all of that cool stuff. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in that world? It's just the coolest world building I've ever read in a book, and I'd really love to be there. I'd love to be in Narnia too, but if I wanted to be a certain character, I'd be Harry Potter. What is your favorite book from your childhood? Goosebumps. Like I've said before, I was obsessed with Goosebumps as a kid, and I still like Goosebumps, but yeah, those were my favorite books. You know, even when I was 2 years old, my mom would take me to the library, and I'd pass by all the picture books and go straight for the Goosebumps. What is your favorite book right now? That is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Which book series do you have the most books of? Not counting Goosebumps or Nancy Drew or Hardy Boys or anything like that. The most books that I have in a series would have to be a series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I have all 13 books in that series. Do you buy used books or use swap.com? I buy used books. I've never used swap.com before, but I'll have to check that out at some point. But yeah, usually all the books that I buy are used or bargain priced. Occasionally I will buy a new book, you know, depending on how bad I really want it. But yeah, usually I buy used books. Who is your favorite / hottest guy or girl in a book? Right now I'm reading The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and Katniss is pretty awesome. So I'd have to say Katniss or Hermione from Harry Potter, because she's pretty cool too. What is your favorite book cover? That's a tough one, considering I really like The Space Between by Brynna Yovanov, The Replacement by Brynna Yovanov, The Night Circus, and I don't have any of those books yet. I also like The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, Rotten Ruin, Wither, Possess, Divergent. I have a ton of favorite covers right now. There's just so many really nice ones that are out. Yeah, and let's see. Favorite book cover. What was your favorite type of book cover? I'm not a big fan of the covers with models on them. I like it if there's a model, but yet there's some kind of art incorporated, like The Space Between, how it's got her laying down and then it's got all the art around it. I think that's really cool. Or if there's a model and then there's like a big elaborate set around them, kind of like Wither. But if it's just the model, kind of like looking at you through the book cover, you know, giving you the stink eye, I don't like that very much. It just, I don't know, it really doesn't grab me. But, you know, there are some good books that have covers like that. But normally they don't grab me. I'd have to read about them to see how good they are. So usually the book covers that I like are like The Replacement, where it's art, or it's just simply art, or if there's a model but there's some form of art around them. I always think that's pretty cool. What was the first book you read? The Foot Book by Dr. Seuss. Yep. What is your favorite book to movie adaptation? That would be Holes by Louis Satcher, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I love the book, and I love the movie. Question 12. When did you start making videos? I started making videos on July 13th of this year, which is 2011. Where is the best place to read? For me, it's just in bed before I go to sleep. I do that every night. I also like to read in the summertime. When it's not too hot, I like to go out in our screen room. Me and my family have a screen room on the back of our house. I'll go on lounge in there and read, or I will go to our trampoline, and for some reason I love to sit in the middle of the trampoline and read on a nice day. Have you written your own fan fiction before? No. I'm a writer, but writing fan fiction, I feel like it'd be too limited and what I could do. I'd prefer to just make up my own stories and start from scratch. So, but I've never tried writing fan fiction before, so I don't know. If you could only read 3 books for the rest of your life, what would they be? I'm just going to count the whole Harry Potter series as a whole and just say all 7 of those books and just count them as one, because I love that series so much, and if that was the only series I could read forever, that would be fine with me. But I'm going to count that all as one book. And then To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. That's, like I said, is my favorite book of all time. And then the Bible, because it's the Bible, you know. What is the longest book you have read? And that is this beast right here, His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. It's about 1,000 pages long, and the print is super tiny. This is a bind-up of all 3 books in the trilogy. However, I read this thing straight through. It took me about 6 months to finish. However, I did have to read a few other books for school in between. So, I'd say overall it took me 4 months to read. But it's huge, and I was so relieved when I finished it, because the story started getting a little old. It's a good book, but you know, you can't read too much of the same thing for too long. If you were to write a book, what would the title be and why? Well, I actually have written a book, and it's called Attack of the Dust Bunnies, and it is a middle grade novel about dust bunnies coming alive and attacking a city. And then I also just recently started writing a YA book, which right now is called The Frozen, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the real title or not. I'll just have to see as I keep writing. But if you want to see the prologue that I wrote for that book, it's on my Goodreads account, and I'll link it below, and you can go check it out. And I'd really appreciate your feedback on it, because I think it's, even though it's really short, I think it's some of my best work. But I'm still writing the rest of the story, all the other chapters. I'm not sure if I'm going to post those or not, but if you could go check out the prologue, I'd really appreciate it. How many books did you read last month? I read Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. I actually started that in October and then just finished it in the first part of December. So Rotten Ruin was the only book that I read in November. I was really busy, plus the book was pretty slow. I'm going to have a review of that up really soon. But I was kind of ashamed of myself for not even reading a full book in the month of November. What was the last book you read? Rotten Ruin. Do you fantasize yourself in books that you like? Not really. I guess Harry Potter, kind of. Like when I played the computer games, it was almost like I was, you know, like in the books, which was pretty cool. But normally I don't fantasize myself in the books, you know, daydreaming wise. What is your favorite bookstore? Half Price Books. I love that you could just go in there and buy a ton of books and, you know, still not spend too much money. Hardback or paperback? Hardback. I really like just how they look on the shelf. They're so much nicer and so much more well made than paperbacks. However, paperbacks are a lot lighter, a lot easier to carry around, a little less awkward when you read them. So it differs. I guess hardcover, but paperbacks aren't bad either. Nothing against paperbacks. Do you have more than one copy of the same book? Yes, I do. Nancy Drew, Secret of the Old Clock. 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 And Secret, well, you know, Secret of the Old Clock. Why do I have so many copies of this book? Well, I collect Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys books, and of each and every book, there are several different editions to collect. And you know, this is considered like my reading copy of Secret of the Old Clock, but then all the rest of them are all kind of just for collecting. And that is the same for each book in the Nancy Drew and each book in the Hardy Boys series. I collect each whole bunch of editions of each and every book in that series. Uh, they're very, very valuable, and they're really fun to collect and pretty hard to collect, but there are certain editions that are easier to find than others. But I just have fun collecting them, and I love Nancy Drew, and I love Hardy Boys, I love mysteries, so I've just collected them for a really long time now. But yeah, I got, I think, how much is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of just that book in the series. And that's not counting the other 100 books in the series. Would you rather read about vampires or werewolves? Werewolves. Vampires, they're getting a little worn out, like really worn out. Werewolves, they still have the ability to be scary, I guess, but vampires have totally lost their scariness along the way. Werewolves, however, they're getting a little worn out, but they can still be scary if they want to, I guess. So I'd go for werewolves any day. Do you own more than 150 books? If not, would you? Does it look like I own more than 150 books? Anyway, that is all for this tag. I tag everybody to do this. If anybody wants to, just go ahead and do it. And you could post a video response on this video if you want, and I'll take a look at it. But yeah, that's all for this video, and thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Melissa, for tagging me. And Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.